Let me tell you first of how I got to do this particular video. I'm talking about this particular video. I've been noticing in the past, maybe the past few months, that our newspapers and our media are so full of what is happening within the country. Of course, we have so many things happening in the country. We have many states, we have a lot of politics, and then of course a lot of discourses on that, and of course there are controversies generated usually generated on non-issues, and then there are a lot of replies and things like that, and the whole of the newspapers are filled with this kind of stuff. At the same time, I noticed that there were very important things that were happening around us in the world, global news, which, considering the fact that there is no doubt that we are a global village, and that what happens to the outside world always should impact everyone, every country. Just think of it, we have got so much imports, and we are dependent on imports. We have some exports to make, and then we have other places where there is collaboration, whether it's education or science or any other thing. And of course, trade is a very important thing. And therefore, whatever happens around the world is something which we as citizens should know, especially important events. I'm not saying anything, but important events. And I think it is a duty of all of us to know that and to assess those events intelligently, because I truly believe that an informed citizenry is the backbone of any country. So let me get on with it. On January 20th or so, when probably President Trump was, preparing to get inaugurated. There is really no connection, but I'm saying when you have President Trump's inauguration, the newspapers will be full of that. I'm saying that. There was an event which had tremendous significance. DeepSeek, a company a firm which started out as a hedge fund. Actually, the founder of DeepSeek started a hedge fund, a kind of investment fund, which based investment, which could give investment decisions, advice based on data, on data, reams of data. So the founder of DeepSeek, which is the subject matter coming up, had started out as a startup company called Highflyer or something like that. The point is, he was about 28 years old, just about 2 or 3 years out of university. And within a few years, just a few years, he made a few millions of dollars. It was this that he put into DeepSeek. And DeepSeek, on January 21st, came up with a model, the same as ChatGPT of AI, OpenAI. The difference was that DeepSeek, this application, AI application, was done at 0.1% of the cost. So this cost conversions in the investment stocks of other people who were in the same business. It is estimated that just on one day, about $1 trillion US dollars was wiped out because of this. Because then the investors began to think at that point of time, of course, things are changing very fast in investments, that if this can be done so cheaply, then what's the point of our getting our investments into a company or into stocks that from the very beginning talked or was on the basis of very massive compute power, massive hardware, massive compute power. So that's how it impacted. But there was another impact on this, that it started what is called a democratization of AI space. If AI applications such as DeepSeek, it's the same name as the firm, but DeepSeek, when I say it, it is the same as ChatGPT. If that can be done at a fraction of the cost, then obviously many applications of AI, similar applications, can also be done at a fairly low cost. Therefore, it began a democratization of space. My talk is not about AI. My talk is on something else, which I'll say presently. DeepSeek's success asked the question, who is the founder? Everyone wanted to know who the founder was. And then this 40-year-old person was not even to be found, because he was at that time with his parents or something, visiting some parents. Liang Wenfeng. So they searched out this person. The question was, what was the kind of university he went to? What was the schooling he went to? That is the question. That is right. It was also very clear when the Western press tried to probe and find out more about these things, that for every Liang Wenfeng, there were a dozen others who were more or less on the same plane. And it was not that Liang Wenfeng was some kind of a genius to be thought of. There were lots of people. The spotlights immediately turned to Zhejiang University. Now nobody has heard, or I didn't hear very much about Zhejiang University, but Professor William Kirby, an expert on China, at Harvard University, professor of Harvard, at Harvard, said that the kind of education, the kind of system that is there in Zhejiang has shifted the tectonic plates of higher education. So those were the words that he used. Now, Zhejiang University is 41 or so in the QS rankings, and in the first 20 ranks you have other Chinese universities vying for space and ranking with some of the top Ivy League universities of the United States. Even in the first 20, there are about 3 or 4 Chinese universities. Many Ivy League universities are down there below 50, 51, many of them. And even in the latest QS rankings, Zhejiang University, which many in the Western press described as a dazzling university, got a rank in QS rankings about 41. But there was another point there. In the Leiden rankings, Leiden, the Leiden rankings, which measures first class, top class research output, Zhejiang was ranked number 1 in the world. So it really, in this On this matrix, it was Tufts. The second one was either Harvard or MIT. So you see the position to which it has come. Zhejiang University is what we could call a homegrown university, and it has about 70,000 students in 7 campuses, and the professors and teaching staff other than them. What is remarkable about Zhejiang, and for that matter now most of the Chinese universities, is that you have innovation, and the motto or mantra is don't be afraid of failure. If you fail, so be it, but go ahead. That kind of philosophy. No fear of failure. And the whole thing about this university is that you have innovation, you have research, you have the production of research papers, and there is not even much time for publication of research papers. It goes straight away into startup. And all of them go into startups, into entrepreneurship, into business. All of them are into some products or the other. About 25% of the alumni of the university, they are all founders of startups, and after about 2 or 3 years, multi-millionaires, multi-million dollars. This is the way it functions. That is, innovation, learning, research, startup and product, startup and product. So the whole style of that is also in a way typical of other universities of China. And to some extent we can see that it is a kind of Silicon Valley, shall we say, brother of Silicon Valley, the whole philosophy of entrepreneurship, competition and entrepreneurship. So this was one occasion, because of all this, that the spotlight was on Chinese university education. The question was also what kind of schooling do these people have, and it came out that the emphasis on STEM, S-T-E-M, science, technology, engineering, mathematics, was very strong and rigorous. It was competitive from the very word go, because there were, for these middle school and others going up to high school, they had competitions, and many of them had been going to these Olympiads for mathematics. So very strong in mathematics. This is the special thing about that type of education. So this stands out as something that the world didn't know. The type of universities that they were having and fostering. In January 2025, yes, this year, just about the same time, the Communist Party came out, or Communist Party of China, came out with a document called China as an Education Power by 2035. What was what was striking about it was that there was a Confucius flavor in the whole way it was formulated, the document. While the usual things which are basically basic ingredients of Chinese education, like innovation, stress on mathematics and all that was there, there was a certain paragraph which said about synergy with society. And China as a learning society. That was a wonderful thing, because just imagine China, a whole China, a population of China as a learning society. That is one of the ideas that struck me. I read that whole document, and this idea struck me as very, very important, that they were going to tap this one basic and most powerful resource, education, for the whole of society, not for a few, but for the whole of society. The second thing that I noticed, there are about 13 or 14 points. The second thing that I noticed was their emphasis on sharing, cooperating with the world in the matter of STEM education at the basic level. This would mean that with all their resources, with the fact that AI has been integrated into the curricula, they wanted to make a significant difference to education at the middle school, even primary, middle school and high school level. Therefore, the STEM education for the whole world, this was the idea. So on the whole, it seemed to me that perhaps a new frontier was being opened for the benefit of all of us. It is a sanguine thing to hope for that, but in a world full of strife, it is a thought to be embraced that there could be education for all to share.